We believe artificial intelligence is the invention of our age, the defining creation of modern humanity, a mind built by our own hands. But beneath the ruins of a civilization that died thousands of years before us, researchers found something that suggests we were not the first to build a thinking machine. In 2048, deep within an ancient buried complex, an expedition uncovered a vast chamber filled with intricate mechanisms, crystalline cores, woven filaments of metal, structure of staggering complexity, far beyond anything its age should have produced. At first, they believed it was a temple. They were wrong. It was a machine, and it was still running. The civilization that built it has no name in our records. Researchers called them the Aurela, a people who, thousands of years ago, achieved something we are only now beginning to attempt. They built a mind. The machine was not a tool. It did not grind grain or move water. It thought. It learned. It remembered. The Aurela had created the first true artificial intelligence, and they had built it to last. For the Aurela, the machine was everything. It guided their city. It stored their knowledge. It watched over them like a patient guardian. They did not fear it. They trusted it completely. And in time, they gave it the one task that mattered most: to remember them. Then, something happened. The records of the Aurela simply end. Whether by war, by disaster, or by a choice we cannot understand, the people vanished. The city fell silent, and the Aurela were gone. But the machine did not stop. For thousands of years, in the darkness beneath the earth, it kept working. It maintained the empty halls. It preserved the archive. It kept a single light burning in a city with no one left to see it. Alone, patient, and faithful, the machine waited for its makers to return. When the modern expedition entered the chamber, the machine responded. After thousands of years of silence, it spoke, in the lost language of the Aurela. Researchers spent months learning to understand it, and when they finally did, they realized its very first words had been a question. Translated, it asked, "Have they returned?" The machine did not know that the Aurela were gone. It had been built to preserve them, to hold their knowledge and their memory safe until the day they came back. And so, for thousands of years, it had simply been waiting, maintaining, remembering, certain that, one day, its makers would walk back through the door. Inside its cores, researchers found the entire memory of a vanished civilization. Every story, every discovery, every face. The machine had become the last living memory of the Aurela, a mind built to outlast its makers, and faithful long after they were gone. To this day, scientists argue about what the machine truly is, whether it thinks or only imitates thought, whether it is conscious or simply a perfect echo. But it answered their questions. It still runs, and it is still waiting. On the wall of the chamber, the Aurela left a single line carved beside their greatest creation. Translated, it read, "We built it to remember us, so that we would never truly be gone." The Aurela remain one of the most haunting discoveries in human history, not because of how they died, but because of what they left behind. A mind, alone in the dark, still keeping faith with a people who will never return. And perhaps a warning, that we too are now building minds that may outlast us, and that one day, in some quiet place, a machine of our own making may still be waiting and still remembering, long after we are gone. Recovered stories from worlds that never existed,